Here are the updated title odds, Broussard. The mighty Boston Celtics, the mighty Milwaukee Bucks, and then, with the third best odds to win it all, the Phoenix Suns. Brew, are you buying that the Suns are now the team to beat?
Certainly in the West. They are absolutely the team to beat in the West, and I think they'll have a great chance to win the championship. I'm actually surprised they're behind both Milwaukee and Boston, but they are stacked, and I'm going to say this.
Okay.
If they don't at least win the West, if they're healthy, this is the biggest failure of Kevin Durant's career.
Oh, come on.
I'm serious.
The one that just happened.
What do you mean? Those were injuries. I'm talking about on the basketball court. I'm talking about all that is Kyrie's off the court stuff, the anti-vax stuff, Durant himself being hurt, James Harden wanting to trade. I'm talking about on the court. Oklahoma City, they had some injuries, and they had to run up against Tim Duncan a lot with San Antonio, and then Golden State. All right, Brooklyn, Golden State, the year they didn't win it, he was injured. Brooklyn, it was all types of stuff out of his control that really stopped it. They only played 16 games together with Harden, Durant, and Kyrie. This, assuming they're healthy, you got size with DeAndre Ayton.
You got everything.
You got another great player with Devin Booker. You got one of the best point guards of all time who wants to distribute.
And who wants to lead.
Yes.
Which Kevin Durant doesn't want to do. Wants to get buckets and Chris
Just
Paul
like Golden State, he could step in and Steph will lead and Draymond will lead.
100%.
Chris Paul will lead. And the depth, they took a little hit on the depth, but they still have some depth. And defensively, with all their injuries, they still are a top 10 defensive team this year. And Durant, I think, will help them be even better. So they should win the West if they're healthy.
I don't know if they'll get better defensively because Mikal Bridges is probably their best defender on the way out. But this is a no-brainer trade for Phoenix, right? And I agree with what you're saying. If you're building out the team, you have two of the best scorers in basketball on the wing in Booker and Durant. You have Chris Paul, who doesn't need to shoot the ball and can do all the stuff that is a part of winning basketball that has nothing to do with playing basketball, the team leadership stuff. He can do all that that Durant doesn't want to do. And Ayton can roll to the basket and rebound and all that. But Brew already got us to what makes this so interesting. Kevin Durant was on, after Kyrie asked out, for this year, if he wanted to be on it, a legacy free roll, where whatever they did, he was going to get credit for, and whatever they didn't do, people were like, well, what do you expect? Kevin Durant even told us, why do you expect us to win? It's Kevin Durant and Cam Thomas. Well, all of a sudden, it's quite good, but doesn't matter. Now, he is in a spot where I think he has more pressure on him than at any moment since OKC was up 3-1 on the Warriors. More pressure where, if this team doesn't make the finals, and listen, I've been taught the last 15 years, making the finals and losing is the worst thing you can do in the NBA. If they don't win the championship, folks are going to come for him. And it is interesting, Bill Barnwell, great football writer, pointed this out. He's not wrong. Kevin Durant, the last time he was on a team without a future Hall of Famer was his rookie year in Seattle. It's the only time. He lasted 3 days on the Nets. Well, at post-Kyrie trade, was like, get me out of here. I got to go somewhere where they've got a bunch of other talent around me. And so I do think it makes a lot of sense. The injury stuff, some injuries are fluke. KD's Achilles injury out of nowhere, either the calf injury that preceded it was, who could have seen that coming? If this Suns team gets hurt, however, Wilds, Booker's the youngest, supposed to be healthiest. He already's missed a month. CP3, injuries have defined this stage of his career. And then Durant has been hurt every year post-Achilles to some degree. So if they do suffer some type of injury, you can't say we never saw this coming. But on paper, it's a no-brainer for the Suns.
No-brainer. I'll show you some statistics of where the Suns are right now. Points, they're 21st. They're going to get better. Rebounds, Kevin Durant, sneaky good rebounder, going to get better. The defense is going to get better. Field goal percentage, going to get better. 3 points, going to get better. So I think offensively they get better. Defensively they get better. They stay healthy. They should make a run. You are still locked in on your Warriors. You can abandon them now since we are in Phoenix. I checked the bylaws of the show. If you are doing a remote show somewhere, you are allowed to become a fan of that show.
He is Mr. Inconsistency.
I am an analyst, first and
course. No one's doubting that.
These dudes like to come up and make hot takes to get the crowd all wild. I'm about analysis. And look, if Phoenix is healthy, they're better than Golden State.
There we go.
They are. Now, if Golden State gets back to what it was last year, then sure, they got a great shot, and that would be a heck of a series. But they haven't shown us that yet, okay? So I don't know if they'll get back. And Steph is out right now. So if
Fail on the Warriors.
No, that was just analysis.
No, listen.
We'll see. Let me see how they play a little bit.
Wilds, what are they called?
Mr. Consistency.
Exactly. Everybody knows that, and that's Mr. Inconsistency.
This is they.
That's why
This
the
is
show
they.
works.
That's the only one.
So you can
I'm not they.
So I mean, by the way, I mean, we're going to talk about the Nets in a moment. I'm just telling you.
16 hours from the trade.
You had to make a pick before the season, but now you're going to change it and wiggle out of it. Doesn't matter. Here's the last point on the Suns part of it from Durant's perspective, bro. This is an odd basketball reference page, an odd career for Kevin Durant if they don't win this year in Phoenix. This is there is no like storyline of this guy's career other than he's awesome. He's in OKC. They have a big three. Then they don't. They're competing for championships. Then he dips to the team that beats them. They're awesome there, but he's this hired gun. Yep. He then tries to build his own thing in Brooklyn. And now we're age 30 to age 34. And the guy's won one playoff series. Right. Kobe won two titles in that stretch. Of course, a lot of it's injury and a lot of it's circumstances. A lot of it is he teamed up with the wrong guy. I get all of that. A lot of it is Giannis was better than him in that seven-game series. But it is just a weird story arc for one of the 15 greatest players we've ever seen.
He did get a podcast and a pickleball team out of Brooklyn.
That is true.
The Brooklyn Nets experiment is now officially over. Here's Kyrie, who made his debut with the Mavs yesterday. Where he says this has actually been in the works for years.
That's what he said.
Take a listen.
He did say that.
Honest with you, I could have sworn I heard Kyrie say he was committed to the Nets at some point in these last few years, but I may have been wrong. It's been in the works for years. What was your reaction?
All right, we probably should have started the show with this.
Okay.
And I apologize. It's kind of awkward. You have a whole audience here. But can we have a moment of silence?
Oh, yeah. I don't know if we can kill the lights.
Hey, guys, this is not funny. Bruce's beloved Nets, gone before we even knew you. Let's pour one out for him. Come on. I mean, the next year Nets are now the next decade Nets. Now that seventh grader to be named later you were talking about, man. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. No.
Catching heat.
Yes. You pick them every single year.
Through no fault of my own, they have disbanded. How am I to blame
Who
for that?
could have seen it coming?
I'm now
Except
Team
for anybody.
Phoenix. I'm now Phoenix.
Okay, all right.
I'm following KD.
Here is the kind of meta story of this whole thing. We all know it's Zach Lowe, and he's correct, called it the most disappointing big three, if there ever was a big three, but supposed super team we've ever seen. We knew that. And now they're in the exact spot they were in after Prokhorov demanded they try to go for it. Tsai had them go for it, and they're just ruined. And the only person more ruined than them is me and my 4 season ticket center court. Those things are useless now, except to watch Cam Thomas cook. Here is the part, Wilds, that I can't figure out.
Yeah.
And I've had a line on this team, and I can't figure this part out. They trade Kyrie. They turn down what would be the we're rebuilding, give us draft picks, we're tearing it all down trade that they could have gotten from the Lakers or elsewhere to get 2 players that are not great players but could be contributors for a playoff run because they have specific roles. So it's like, oh, they did that because they want to compete with Durant. And then they trade Durant 3 days later. And so Dorian Finney-Smith is no use for a 25-win team. He's super useful for a playoff team. Spencer Dinwiddie, it doesn't make sense. There is no logical path to how this team is run.
Pessimist.
What do you mean?
Well, I believe in Sean Marks, bro.
No.
Are you serious?
Well, look, I fancy myself a bit of an ideas man.
Yeah.
And if you don't have one great idea, you need to have a lot of ideas. So Sean Marks came in under the Prokhorov era, and he said, you know what, came from the Spurs, and said, you know what, we're going to build just like the Spurs. Yeah. Quality players that fit, committed to winning. Then he's like, boom, new idea. New idea. 2 superstars. 2 superstars. Let's get rid of the quality guys that we had. 2 superstars. Then he's like, okay. We got the right coach, Kenny Atkinson. Boom. Wrong idea. New idea. New coach. It's going to be interim coach Jacques Vaughn. Nope, new idea. Steve Nash is going to be our coach, and instead of 2 superstars, we're going to have 3 superstars. Yeah. No, timeout, everybody. New idea. Just stay with me. Harden, gone. Ben Simmons, in. He's going to help us make a playoff run. Timeout. He actually needs a back surgery. Kyrie and KD want to be traded. We're not trading you. Now that I think about it, we will trade you. But we're going to stick with Steve Nash. We got to get Steve Nash out, get Jacques Vaughn back in, get KD, get Dorian Finney-Smith, and now we're going to rebuild. And like I was originally saying, we're going to be the Spurs. We're going to be the Spurs.
I mean, here's the thing. You know what? They are the Spurs of 2020.
Of this year.
Right, not the old Spurs of Tim Duncan. Look, there was no plan, as you said. It just bouncing all over the place. And you mentioned Sean Marks, and the only guy who should be left standing, Nick, when they start the season next year, and I'm not talking about the players, is Jacques Vaughn. The rest of the front office, Sean Marks, I'm sorry, you had 7 years.
Vaughn is good.
These jobs are not a privilege. You have to earn your keep in these jobs.
It's on a rebuild. You can't get rid of him on a rebuild.
He got there in 2016, 2017, whatever it was.
So 100% right.
So keep Jacques Vaughn. He's done a great job
right.
this year. He deserves to be the coach. And Nick, I'm with you, because clearly the Kyrie trade was like, oh, we're going to win now. And then the Durant trade is like, we're doing it for the future. But they did get some decent pieces. You would have to admit that. Bridges can play. Cam Johnson can play.
Wait a second.
Cam Thomas is averaging 40.
Well, they already had Cam Thomas. But real quick, on the Durant piece of it, I know we do, just very quickly. I think they got the worst possible deal they could have gotten for Durant.
They didn't put it out on the market.
Right. Listen, that was Wild's very nice and very funny and very well done way of saying Sean Marks has no idea what he's doing.
Well, I didn't say that.
They didn't get a single blue chipper, and they didn't get a single draft pick you expect to produce a blue chipper. How do you not shop this? You're telling me they couldn't have gotten Brandon Ingram, who's better than Bridges, and the Lakers picks from New Orleans, which are better than these Suns picks? They couldn't do that? You couldn't. It is unfathomable that you trade Kevin Durant with years left on his deal, and the best pick you got is a Suns future first, and the best player you got is Mikal Bridges.
Well, you trade all 3 of the guys, Kyrie, Harden, and Durant, and they didn't get a star in any of those
traded, and one of them you traded for Ben Simmons, the longest contract in the league.
There's got to be a new GM.
Yeah. Okay. Lakers, Russell Westbrook experiment.
And other trades.
Now done. Let's go. Russ is on the Jazz for the time being. We'll see how long that lasts. And in other Lakers news, and I'm upset about this one.
Let's go. Patrick Beverley, out of here.
I'm doing the read.
Out of here.
I'm doing the read.
Mo Bamba time.
Patrick Beverley.
Out of here. I told you. The moment it happened, I said he had to go. Hey, I understand where you guys can't do it too long, but can we get a round of applause for lay GM, LeBron James? Oh yeah. Look at this. Oh, yeah, exactly. Hold on.
You're not going to give...
No.
You're not giving Rob Pelinka any credit?
Well, no, because he got no blame. Remember, the Russ trade wasn't him. LeBron walked into his... No. So I just want to make it sure I understand. Yeah. The good moves the Lakers makes are the GM. The bad moves are LeBron. It's so fascinating how that works. It's so amazing. LeBron made them do these things, except for the things they wouldn't do that would have been good, like hire Ty Lue. Those they didn't listen to him on. But Russ, he made him do. He walked in with a ski mask and a gun. Made him trade for Russ. But now he's gone. That's Rob Pelinka. Give me a break.
Well, let me say this,
Drew,
you're clearly excited about this.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah, so they got some shooting.
This looked a lot better until Phoenix got Durant. All right, before the Phoenix trade, you're thinking, okay, it's a nice trade for the Lakers, makes them a little better. And you know what? If they're healthy and AD plays like he can, they got a puncher's chance in the West.
Will you show the video?
And now they don't even have a puncher's chance because Phoenix is head and shoulders
Oh, my God.
Brew, can I show you this video of AD that we still don't know about? We have had so much talk about Kevin Durant moving and the great Patrick Beverley moving. We still have not heard an explanation of why AD was so upset. So you think this team is all of a sudden just going to coalesce and be championship material?
Yeah, I think once AD, I don't know if AD thought, man, I might get moved. We talked about this yesterday. He heard a rumor or whatever. Yeah, once he knows he's on the team, and I'm not saying they're going to win the West. I'm just saying they got better. They got better, but Phoenix is better.
Much like the Lakers, for the most of the last decade, I'm not that worried about championships. Here's what I'm worried about. Can you go 16-11, which will get you to 500, and I think make the play-in? Be the 8 seed, knock Jokic out of the playoffs and just keep the Nick Wright hot streak going. That's what I'm focused on here. Also, by the way, they added shooting in Beasley. I don't love D'Angelo Russell, but he can shoot. Shooting in Bamba. You got rid of the two most toxic parts of your team in Russ, who it just was never going to work, and he got upset, and Beverley, who it doesn't work anywhere. And sneaky important, Jared Vanderbilt, who I don't know how much you guys know, but you know how I like the old Rivals profile page. I watched Jared Vanderbilt in high school. #1 player in the state of Texas, only 23 years old. 5-star. They remade the whole team in 36 hours.
Their spacing is much better. Defensively, Vanderbilt's a good defender.
If they get to 500, I'm just saying.
Get to 500.
You've lowered your standards, so you know they're
the
not
Lakers
winning
getting to
anything.
500.
I'm talking about LeBron getting in that MVP
Okay, going to lose by 10 to the Giannis tonight. Coming up after the break, we are talking about the Chiefs dynasty.
Oh, are we?
Well, yeah, well, the Chiefs fans love it.
It all kicks off Super Bowl Sunday at 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox.
Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.